Over the last few decades, there's been an increase in those aged 85 and older living within Hampshire, and many still have their own teeth, but as they become incapacitated, they're no longer able to maintain them themselves.
In the past, if people had dentures, it's much easier to take the dentures out and clean them and give them back again. But when people have got their own teeth, this is much more challenging to keep the teeth clean.
Known as the Tooth Fairy, Julie Stairs has been a registered dental nurse for over 20 years. Julie set up her own business 2 years ago after working with the Special Dental Care Service and assisting clients with special needs. Julie now visits nursing and care homes, including training carers on how to look after other people's mouths.
A lot of carers aren't confident with toothbrushing, brushing somebody else's teeth. It's a very private area of the body and it is difficult to do, which is why it's really good if carers can have some training. A lot of carers are just unaware of the way they can do it, techniques they can use, even ways that they can support people who are self-caring. So supporting somebody who is self-caring but less physically able now. If you, I always say, talk somebody around their mouth, so remind them to get right to the very back, remind them to brush the edges of their gums, talk them all the way around their mouth so they don't miss any areas out. That can be a huge support for people.
Julie has been care staff herself and knows firsthand the time constraints carers have, but it's particularly people who need care or who have special needs that are at the greatest risk of poor oral hygiene.
If you're diabetic, then you have a poor blood supply and you're more prone to gum disease. So it's really important that your oral hygiene is really good. If you have heart problems, these can poor oral hygiene, the bacteria in the mouth can complicate things. You're more likely to have a stroke if you've got poor oral hygiene. The other thing that's massive is aspiration pneumonia, which is when you breathe in bacteria, basically. So if there's a lot of plaque left in the mouth, which is what you're cleaning away when you brush, then that can easily be inhaled and then people get pneumonia. And pneumonia is a very common cause of death in the very elderly.
Choosing an appropriate toothbrush can make it much easier when helping clean someone else's teeth.
The smaller head that you have, the easier it is to brush somebody else's teeth. So even a child-sized toothbrush can be beneficial sometimes when you're brushing somebody else's teeth. Also, an electric toothbrush can be good if the person can tolerate it. A lot of people with autism can't stand the vibration, for example. I mean, lots of people can't stand the vibration of electric toothbrushes, but they can be very good. If you choose one, you need to have one with a small round head, nothing more fancy, only needs to be a basic sort. And they basically do little circles, but they need to be used properly. And the danger with an electric toothbrush is people whiz around their mouth and think they've done it and they haven't done it effectively. So again, it needs to be done properly with an electric brush. There are other sorts of toothbrushes that can be really beneficial for people who have a low tolerance, so you can only get in their mouth for 30 seconds rather than the 2 minutes that you really should be doing, which can brush all three surfaces of the teeth at the same time. So you've got the outside surface, the inside surface and the chewing surface. So all those three surfaces need to be brushed. A lot of people miss out the inside because they don't think about that part. A lot of people only brush the bits they can see, the front teeth, and it's very, very important that the gum edges are brushed all the way around like that.
A century ago, many people lost their teeth, not from them being rotten, but because of loose gums caused by gum disease.
My grandma, who was born in about 1900, had all her teeth removed when she was 21, and that was really common in those days. Nowadays, people are keeping their teeth a lot longer, and my father-in-law is nearly 90 and he's got all his own teeth. So it's very important that people start brushing their teeth when the first tooth appears in the mouth. So when you're talking about babies of 6 months or so, that tooth should be brushed, and develop that habit all through your life and keep brushing your teeth until you breathe your last breath.
This is Shan Robins for That's Solent.